I love fall in Seattle. The colors, the cozy vibes, the way the city seems to just slow down a little. It's the kind of weather that makes you want to stay inside, huddled under a blanket, wearing a cute sweater, and eating something that actually feels like it's hugging you back. I'm going to show you my top 2 favorite carnivore soups of all time. These soups will warm you up every single day, satisfy every craving, and come together with no fuss at all. And as a bonus, I'll show you a simple hack I just discovered that lets you enjoy your carnivore soups literally anywhere, nice and hot. Let's get to cooking. Let's start with the creamy soup, and I call this my Marry Me chicken soup because it's that delicious. Starting with the ingredients, I'm going to start off with the base ingredients, then the meat options, and finally the seasonings and flavorings. We will need some cheese. Here I've got a Mexican blend and a Parmesan blend. You can choose whatever cheeses you love best. To deliver the creaminess of the soup, we're just going to need cream cheese, and we're melting this cream cheese into our soup to provide the milkiest, creamiest soup base. And to add that extra layer of meaty flavor, you can choose between chicken broth or beef broth. As always, everything I'm using here for my recipes will be linked down below in the description box. Next, we have our meat options. This just adds more protein and more nutrient density so that this soup is extra filling. You can either go with an entire rotisserie chicken, and this is such a hack because I got this rotisserie chicken on Tuesday, and every Tuesday at Whole Foods, you get their rotisserie chickens on sale, and their ingredients are so clean. They have peppered chickens as well as completely plain chickens. If you don't eat chicken, then this ground beef option is going to be for you. I love the ground beef from US Wellness Meats because it is always extremely high quality and flavorful. If you want a ground beef that's even more flavorful, they have an organ blended ground beef with kidney, heart, and liver, and it's actually delicious. And finally, we will need some sugar-free bacon to crisp up and top the soup with for that extra crunch factor. Moving on to the flavor, we're going to need some salt, some black pepper, some Cajun seasoning, and this is only if you love your heat and spice. And if you love your acidity, go ahead and get yourself some ranch seasoning blend as well. Now, before we start cooking, let's get one thing straight. Always wash your hands thoroughly before touching any of your ingredients. Most carnivores I know are super strict about what goes in their body, but almost no one really thinks about what goes on their body. And here's why it matters. Your skin is your largest organ, and it absorbs a lot more than you might think. Soaps, lotions, shampoos don't just sit on the surface. Ingredients like synthetic fragrances, parabens, preservatives, and certain emulsifiers can penetrate the upper layers of your skin and, in some cases, enter your bloodstream over time. And using toxic everyday products only makes things worse. Luckily, I discovered this awesome animal-based soap. It is made from tallow, and it's called Beast Mode Soap, which is literally perfect for all of my sensitive carnivores. It's an animal-based, natural, grass-fed soap that comes in 4 different scents. Here's what each of the scents look like, and by the way, just opening this box, I am hit with the most gorgeous smells and scents. It smells basically like winter and the forest all combined. It's so good. So we have lemon leaf, we have unscented, we have forest ash, and paleo pine. It's delicious. Wow. My personal favorite is lemon leaf. It smells so refreshing and clean, and my skin no longer dries out like it did with literally every other soap I've ever tried. So if you head over to Beast Mode Soap and use my code SBGAL, you will get 10% off your order. I'd love to hear which scent you end up loving the most. Let's start with the first step of crunching up our bacon slices. I always cook my bacon in my trusty air fryer. I use this air fryer at this point every single day, if not at every single meal for my carnivore life. It is non-toxic. I get their ceramic version, and it is so handy and so easy to clean. So I'm just cooking up my bacon at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. And then we're also going to air fry the ground beef, and this is what we have. We're going to set our ground beef and crunchy bacon aside, and make sure you chop it up into bits so that we can top it later. Next major step for the meat is to start shredding our rotisserie chicken. This is honestly already so much easier than buying a whole chicken or getting doing raw chicken breast, this is as easy as it gets. So just manually shred it. Now let's start with our soup base. We will need 32 ounces of whatever broth that you want. And so here I'm just doing chicken broth, and we'll need 2 whole blocks of cream cheese. That is 8 ounces per block, so 16 ounces total. And by the way, for this soup, don't ever feel like you need to make it perfect. Do it the way that you prefer. Next, we're going to add in our shredded cheeses. Add as much as you want. Here I'm adding about a good 5 cups of cheese total. We're going to get the soup to a rolling boil, so I basically cooked it at medium-high heat for a good 15 minutes. And after it came to a rolling boil, you will also notice the cheese and the cream cheese start to slowly melt and dissolve into the soup. From here, we will add all the spices and seasonings our heart desires. I did a mix of ranch, Cajun, salt, and black pepper. And for an extra boost of collagen and nutrition, I added 2 full scoops of this collagen powder. As always, everything is linked down below. From here, we just have to play the waiting game, and we're going to have to just cook this for a good 20 to 30 minutes for the cream cheese and cheese to fully melt and dissolve into our soup base. This is what it looks like after a good 30 minutes of cooking on medium heat. We're now going to split the soup into 2 parts, just because I'm doing a chicken soup version as well as a ground beef version. And it's simple as that. Put in your shredded chicken into your soup base, and then if you're doing the ground beef version, put the ground beef crumbles into your soup base, and that's it. I do recommend letting the meat soak up the creamy soup for a couple hours. Even better if you can just store this in your fridge overnight so that I can just absorb all of the flavor and creaminess into the meat. So it lasts all throughout the week if you just keep it refrigerated, and the creaminess gets thicker and thicker as the days go by as well. You can reheat it. It is not going to ruin the flavor or the texture of the meat. These meats won't dry out because it is literally soaking in the juiciest, creamiest base. Before we get to the second soup, I do want to show off this amazing genius tumbler that heats up whatever you put in it. This is perfect if you love long walks outside with your dogs, but you still want to enjoy the comfort of the soups that you work so hard to cook in the kitchen, and you don't want to enjoy it cold. This keeps it at a specific temperature, whatever temperature you want, and it stays running for 8 hours. And so I'm showing you exactly how I would pack the soup. I will be taste testing it for you with Aspen. You guys may have noticed in my cooking videos just how much I love and use my tasty air fryer every single day. You all know I love this air fryer to death. There's no meal I have not cooked in my air fryer, and I didn't think I would love anything else more than my air fryer when it came to kitchen appliances. But Tasty just dropped their newest product. This right here is the new Tasty mugs. And the one that I'm holding, these two, are actually anniversary mugs designed by yours truly. It actually gets hot and you can adjust the exact temperature you want your beverage or soup to be at for up to 8 hours. Between 130 and 150 degrees, by the way. And every single sip gets to be the perfect sip that you want for 8 hours at a time. It is amazing. Most mugs barely last 3 hours on a full charge. But honestly, what I love most about this mug is that it's built for real life. I'm constantly on the move with my dogs, with my husband. I'm flying, I'm traveling, and I always am very clumsy along the way. This lid is double sealed, leak proof, so you won't waste a single drop. Most importantly, the Tasty mug is FDA certified, PFOA and PFOS free. I've been using this mug for everything, my morning coffee to keeping my carnivore soups hot when I'm out and about. You guys can check it out by using my code SBGAL for a special discount plus Tasty's extras like an extended warranty. Now we get to my favorite soup. This is a very low inflammation, no dairy necessary. All you need is ground beef and eggs, but the way that you cook it is so satisfying, comforting, and hearty. So for the most flavor, we're going to have to cook our ground beef first. So here I'm just doing a loose saute. I'm not doing meatballs. However, you can if you like those cute little shapes, but I'm just doing a loose saute to save time so that it cooks really fast. And we're going to purposely overcook the ground beef a little bit so the flavor really seeps out of our ground beef. After the ground beef is done cooking, we are going to add in our liquid. This is where you can get creative. Feel free to use your favorite stocks, bone broths, maybe the oxtail broth that you made with my Instant Pot recipe, or you can just keep it simple and use plain water as the soup. I promise you the flavor is still going to be there because you're collecting all of the juices and the fats and the flavor from the ground beef. We're not draining the ground beef. We're directly adding in our water to make our egg drop soup. Okay, now for the egg drop portion of the soup, let's just prepare our eggs. You basically just beat up a couple eggs. I have 4 for the soup here, as you can see, and we're just gonna beat it up. And this is gonna provide the egg flour, you know, that beautiful, delicate egg drop flour. We're gonna pour this in at the very end. We are actually going to turn off the heat because we want our eggs to be so delicate. Do that. And beautiful. Look at that gorgeousness. So there you go. That's the finished product of the egg drop meatball soup. It's technically not meatballs. Unless you cook it in big chunks, then sure, they can count as meatballs. But if you do want meatballs, like let's say you're cooking for your kid and they're going to really love the meatballs in the soup, then you can actually just form meatballs with raw ground beef and cook it. This also tastes so good the next day. You can just easily reheat it. Obviously, don't overcook it. Otherwise, the egg drop will not be as delicate. This is how I would enjoy it, with a big, hearty, fatty meal of flank and short ribs and have this soup on the side. All right, that wraps up our cozy carnivore soup, perfect for chilly fall nights that you can now enjoy in the tasty mugs as well. Just know that if you have any requests for future recipes, any dishes you want me to carnivorize, all you have to do is comment it down below and I will work hard to make it possible. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. SPG out.